GOP concerns are growing about impact former President Trump could have on competitive House races this cycle if he becomes nominee, as party tries to hold on to its narrow majority in lower chamber. Many Republicans blamed the former president for the party's poor performance in what was supposed to be a red wave year. This time, Republican primary voters are lining up behind Trump. But fears remain that he could alienate moderate and independent voters in swing districts across the country. When you look back at what we've seen in last 3 elections, there were actually a lot seats left on the table for Republicans to win. And a lot that was because how much an obstacle Trump was to Republicans, said Republican strategist Doug Heye. Poll after poll at the national and state level shows Trump dominating the GOP presidential primary. Real Clear Politics average shows the former president leading the crowded field with 57.3% support. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is his closest rival, with 13.5% support on average. I think a lot of Republicans prefer to stay away from Donald Trump's gaze, Heye said. They know H is there, but they don't necessarily want to campaign with him. Some of these may be preventable, perhaps inevitable. Most of the swing districts this year are in states that are swing states nationally, including Arizona's 1st and 6th congressional districts as well as Pennsylvania's 7th and 8th congressional districts. However, several Republicans are running for office in Democratic strongholds New York and California, such as moderate reps Mike Lawler and Marc Molinaro. In a perfect world, you would have a moderate Republican candidate in these districts. Your candidate, Nikki Haley, is not necessarily a moderate, but shush is like, do you support what this candidate is saying? It's not a turning point where the question is constantly debated, she said. New York Governor George Pataki. You don't need that in a general election, especially if you're running in a close race. One factor that Republican candidates and incumbents in the House of Representatives cannot avoid is Democrats moving to tie them to Trump. Ask any of them about the criminal indictments, lies, and dangerous ideas like defunding federal law enforcement, and watch them stumble over themselves to avoid a direct answer. But some Republicans are skeptical that Trump will have such a big impact on House races. We're focused on the things we can control, which is candidate recruitment and candidate quality, said one national Republican strategist. Trump's candidacy is not something we spend a lot of time worrying about. Republicans say they are not worried about the former president having a negative impact on House races, pointing out that external factors will come into play no matter who the GOP nominee is. Most states allow third party to return a completed on the voter's behalf process called ballot harvesting or harvesting.